Hi, my name is Mike Michaels. I'm a master instructor for the Johnny G Spinning program. Before you get started on your ride today, I want to take you through bike setup and how to make sure that you're set up properly on the Johnny G Spinner. First thing, let's just go ahead and step back towards the rear of the bike, right next to the saddle. All I want you to do is take your inside leg, raise it up about 90 degrees, and we're going to look to see that the top of your thigh is then even with about the top of the saddle. Right now this looks a little high, so I'm going to lower it down a couple notches. Raise it back up again, 90-degree angle. Looks pretty close. There's a couple of other checks we're going to do along the way, so this one just needs to be in the general position. Second thing is we're going to make sure that your saddle is actually set up in a neutral position. And what that means is we're going to take this part of the seat post right here and align it with the longer part of the seat post here. That would be neutral position. From there, we're going to take a look at your handlebars. All right? We want to try to set the handlebar height to be even with the saddle height. So this is actually going to come up a couple of notches. To get a little closer to being level. All right? This actually still looks a little bit low. Raise it up one more. Okay, there we go there. Now it's time to go ahead and actually step up onto the bike. So the first thing we're going to do, straddle the frame. Okay? Take one foot, place it on one pedal, cage. Now, we want to make sure that it's just the ball of your foot, or the widest part of your shoe, that's resting on the center of the pedal. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to slide your foot all the way into the end of the toe cage. It's only where the ball of the foot, or the widest part of the shoe, land on the center of the pedal. Once you have that set, you're going to go ahead and pull up on the strap of the cage, and then lace it down through the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at your fore and aft position. How far away or close your seat should be to the handlebars. So for that, let's take the pedals, and I want you to put them in the 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock position, or what would be parallel to the ground. And we're going to work off the front leg. What we're looking for here is that right off the edge of the knee, right off the edge of the patella, is that if you hung a string down from here, that you're lining up with pretty much being dead center right on top of the toe cage, or what would be the center of the pedal. So from here, looking straight down on top of the center of the cage, looks pretty good, ready to go. Now if you're a little bit in front, we definitely need to move you back. We're trying to protect your knees. If you're too far back, again, we need to bring you up a couple of notches, forward a couple of notches, again looking for that dead center position right on top of the toe cage. Now that we have that set, we're going to go ahead and start rolling our legs. Now the first thing, since the wheel is now moving, I want you to be aware of the emergency brake. So right on top here, this is your resistance knob / emergency brake, and at any point in time, if you need to stop or slow down for whatever reason, make sure you press down onto that resistance knob, and that will go ahead and slow the wheel down and or stop your pedals. Start rolling the legs again, and we're going to make one final adjustment with your saddle height, and what this is going to be is as you're actually rolling and as you're actually pedaling, you want to make sure that when you come through the bottom of the pedal stroke, that 6 o'clock position again, that you still now have a little bit of knee bend. We're looking for a little bit of knee bend as you come down through the bottom of the pedal stroke. Now, too much knee bend, or to where you feel like you're almost riding a tricycle, can be just as unsafe on the knees as if you're riding too high. So, a little bit of knee bend coming through the bottom, fine, wonderful. Now, if you notice that as you're riding through, that you really have, or if you're pointing from the toes in order to get that pedal stroke around, you might be a little bit too high. This feels pretty good. I'm going to leave it right here. One last thing, the handlebars, we had them set up level with the saddle. Now, if at any point in time you feel like you're leaning into your arms, leaning into your upper body and creating some tension, it'd be great to actually raise up your handlebars a couple of notches and take that angle off your lower back, the amount of lean that you're having to put in from your lower back. Raise them up a little bit higher, feeling a little bit higher, and able to comfortably relax the upper body. Now, the second thing would be, if any of you out there, women, if you might be pregnant and you're having a little bit of a heavier weight coming from the front, from the stomach, you need to make sure, again, being safe with the lower back, wanting to raise, you definitely are going to want to raise the handlebars up a little bit higher and ride more of an upright position. If you have any lower back pains, any lower back problems, then already you know you're going to want to raise those handlebars a little bit higher than being level with the saddle. Now, over a period of time, as your strength, your conditioning starts to build up, if you want to lower the handlebars back down to being level with the saddle, that's perfect. It's wonderful. That's what we're hoping you're going to get to. So I'm going to raise them back down a little bit, get more into that level position where I was before, and now we're ready to ride. Off the side of the palm, right on top of the main part of the handlebars, with it for you. All right? As long as there's some contact happening while you're on the sides of your palms. We're trying the most basic riding positions that we have in the program, and this is what it looks like. Nice, moderate, steady piece of road. You usually will find the flat road in the warm-up and the cool-down, and then a couple of points along the way during the ride. Hand position 2. You're going to open up into the insides of the handlebars, open palm, thumb resting right on the top of the inner circle, easy grip, and again, looking for that open wrist. Hand position 2 is used for almost all of the core movements. So, first one is going to be running. And what that means is we're going to bring you out of the saddle, relaxed upper body, hands to hand position 2, and making this running motion. You want to make sure that you still have a little bit of connection, a little bit of contact with the tip of the saddle, the very nose of the saddle. That way you know that your hips are centered and squared right over the top of the pedals, where you'll be the most balanced and strong. We also use hand position 2 for jumping. What jumping is primarily just transitioning from a seated flat into a run, and then back again. Jumping, hand position 2, bringing it up out of the saddle for a period of time, and then sliding it back down into the saddle. We're making sure that you're not pulling yourself up out of the saddle, but you're lifting from the legs, bringing it up nice and steady and smooth, still having some contact with the nose of your saddle, and then with your legs, lowering yourself back down and in. From there, we're going to go into a seated climb. Hand position 2, also used for seated climbing. Pretty much takes the position of a flat road, except now we've got a little more resistance on because we're heading up into the hills. So you're going to take that resistance knob, turn it to the right. Cadence is going to slow down. Your pedal speed is going to slow down. Hands right here. And now you're digging in, using a little more strength to work your way up that mountain. The one last hand position we have, one last piece of road we have, is standing climbing. So again, with a mountain or with some heavy resistance on, we're going to come out to the very ends of the handlebars. Your thumbs are going to cover the tips. Again, working off of a neutral wrist to climb up that steep hill. So those are the 3 hand positions and the 5 core movements. Please understand that these were developed for your safety and comfort. Stay true to the 3 hand positions and the 5 core movements so you can have a safe and effective ride. We'll see you out on the road.